So this will be
Nardo blue.
round 3 of the Nagaro Blue B5S4.
Yeah.
I love you, Gordon.
Technical difficulties on the other issue or other runs, but
Good morning. Well, it's morning my time. Hope you're doing well during this coronavirus thing, which is still on for sure. Things are starting to ease up a little bit, which is nice, but stay safe, stay home, all that sort of stuff. It actually is snowing here, middle of May, and I guess that's sometimes the weather you get in May. This episode we have subtitled the Berlin Klassik, and Brett went over and visited, keeping his distance, went over and visited with Garrett, who is the organizer and has run the Berlin Klassik for a number. I think this is his 10th year. Will be his 10th year. We've been involved with the Berlin Klassik for a couple of years now, and Garrett happens to live close to us, so we end up at his house fairly often. He has an interesting collection of cars. He has an interesting collection of cars. Hope you enjoy seeing them. And we will leave information down below about how to contact Garrett and the website for the Berlin Klassik. Talk to you later.
we're with Garrett. He's going to chat with us about his wonderful Audi 90 here. Now, we're taking a look at it, and some of the obvious things that are just kind of standing out to me right now, these wheels here, these don't look like stock wheels.
No, they are aftermarket replica BBS wheels.
So how much of this car is actually stock then?
I would say 95% of the car is stock. The only things that have been altered are obviously the wheels, the color match bumpers, the audio has been upgraded, and window tint.
So we're looking at this engine bay. Looks nice and tidy, nice and clean. So this is the original engine that it came with, right?
This is the original 2.8 12-valve V6, yes.
And that's the same engine that they had in the early B5 A4s.
That's correct. And then later they went to the 24-valve.
Right. This car's looking really, really clean. And I don't just mean like somebody's detailed it recently. I mean, this is almost looking like, all the fabrics, everything is just almost in pristine condition. Now, this car is also for sale, is it not?
It was potentially for sale, but it didn't perform very well on VAT. If you want to get in close to like even some of the rocker panels there, Brett, like you can see there's no scuffs, there's no tears, there's truly no flaws in this vehicle whatsoever. The car has originally 120,000 kilometers, which it just turned over. I purchased the car in 2013 with 50,000 original kilometers, so even since 2013 I've hardly driven it. The original owner was a German fellow who bought the car back in 92, November of 92. He moved here from Germany, and this was the first car that he acquired when he moved to Ontario. This car was bought at Cedarbrae Volkswagen. All service record is available of this vehicle.
Is there anything going on in the trunk?
The trunk is pretty plain. I think right now you'll see a cover.
Right? Yeah.
So obviously this car lives most of its life under a blanket.
Yeah. So I noticed something on the back window there. That's a topic we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Well, actually, if you look closer at the window there, Brett, if you look right at the glass up close, you'll see Quattro is actually part of the antenna on this window. So it's an early 93 Audi 90. Later on, they decided it was too expensive, or they decided they didn't want to put the Quattro in the antenna in the rear window.
So I didn't realize that was the antenna. I just always thought that was part of the defrost.
It's defroster or antenna. I believe it's part of the antenna, though.
Okay, excellent. Learn something new. And again, this car is just, I mean, for its age, it looks like it just came off the showroom floor. I don't know if that's translating into the video or not, but it's really, really nice.
Oh, and another thing that I've equipped with this, I absolutely despised the factory steering wheel. So I equipped it with the Audi S2 steering wheel.
Very nice car. What we really want to talk about is this machine right here. Tell me about it. I know this one's had some work done to it.
Well, I guess we should first start with, this is actually my second Nagaro Blue B5S4. The first one I acquired, I just wanted a daily car, winter car. It was not perfect by any means. And this one came up for sale up in Wasaga Beach area, and it was near flawless. It had 178,000 miles on it, or sorry, kilometers. It was very well maintained. It never saw any winters. The only thing I had to do after purchasing it was repaint the front end, because it did have quite a bit of road grime. Something with this caliber, obviously you want to get out on the highways quite a bit, and we all know highways are tortures to vehicles. So I acquired this car. When did I pick it up? Was it October of last year? Obviously I put the RS4 wheels on it. This car was originally a US vehicle. It was purchased in the US, and shortly after it was purchased, it was sent to AWE Tuning for all of their goodies, and I mean all of their goodies. So it has the bigger KO4 hybrid turbos. It has the dual AWE Tuning massive intercoolers under the front bumper. It has all the engine braces, all the transmission braces. It has the AWE Tuning downpipes. It has the AWE Tuning exhaust. It has full two-piece Stop Tech brakes and rotors. It has H&R sport coilovers. Oh my god, what else has been done to this car? It's AWE tuned, which I actually really like the AWE tune on this car. When the car is under cold temperatures, it does not allow you to beat on the car until oil temperature and both coolant temperature reach the levels they're supposed to be at. That's when the car truly shines. So this car makes 500 horse on 94 octane and 550 on 110. Now this car is not as clean as the Audi 90, but it is definitely a blast to drive.
One of the ways you can tell that this is an American car is it's got the factory fog lights. The Canadians didn't get those. That is a tight engine bay.
So you can see by the engine bay here, it is not clean. It is a driver. This car, I don't know, I just love getting into it and trying not to get a speeding ticket. I always found Audi to be kind of underappreciated, considering how much research and development that went into these vehicles. Like they always had the technology in Audis always, I'd say, well surpassed anything BMW was doing anything with their vehicles. The biggest thing is yeah, BMW started off with their sports division, and it created a big wow factor in a lot of automotive enthusiasts. Where Audi kind of catched on a little bit slower, even though they were doing some amazing cars back in the day, like the URS4, the Sport Quattro. But once again, they were such small numbers, and not many of them were actually imported or exported, I should say, worldwide.
Now, you did say this is your daily driver, so we won't necessarily take the time and pop open the doors, but it does have the Nagaro blue interior to match, which is really nice because this car was also sold with the black leather. Oh, look at that. We're going to risk the door opening. Yeah. Oh, there's the aftermarket stereo, of course. You being a sound guy and all. Very nice. This is a wonderful example of a B5 S4, and if you ever want to sell it, let me know. Looking at this car, this is a Brazilian car, right? Like it's called the PUMA, is that correct?
Yeah, so this car is built in São Paulo, Brazil. Very rare car. They only made, I believe it was 610 of these cars. And about 210 of these things actually made their way up to North America, so very, very low numbers. It is a full fiberglass body on a Carmanguia chassis. The company existed from the early 60s until about the mid 80s, and then they had to close down the company. It's unfortunate because the attention to detail that PUMA put into this car is phenomenal. This is an 81, and the fiberglass body on this, like I've got another one sitting at a body shop right now, and it's unbelievable the attention to detail they put into the fiberglass body compared to other cars such as Corvettes and everything. This one here I purchased, it comes equipped with a Porsche Flat 6 2.4. So this motor makes about 220 horse, which isn't a whole lot. But when you put into a car that weighs about 1,400 pounds, she moves pretty aggressively.
You had mentioned you've got one at a body shop. So how many of these cars do you have then?
Do you want to answer that for me?
Yeah, I could.
So this is kind of been a sickness. So I acquired one from this gentleman right here. Say hi to Guiley, everyone.
How you doing?
So I got a phone call from Guiley one day, and he knew I was looking for a Carmanguia. I really wanted a Ghia. I wasn't looking for a PUMA whatsoever. And Guiley's like, I found you a car. I'm like, oh, have you now? But it wasn't a Ghia. He found me a PUMA. And so there was a gentleman in Kitchener that was building this car for I don't know how many years. Did he tell you how many years?
No, he said that it had been an ongoing project, is what he said. Probably several years.
Well over a decade, anyways. So I acquired this yellow PUMA. The body's pretty ratty. It wasn't finished, but the gentleman did finish the full chassis. He put all new suspension in it, all new brakes in it. He put a brand new 1776 rebuilt motor into it. It was quite stunning.
When you say 1776, you're referring to the displacement on the Volkswagen engine, right?
Yes, the displacement of the Volkswagen engine. So these things originally came with a 1600cc dual carb motor.
Can we open the door on this one?
Yes, go ahead. So that's what started the PUMA fetish. And obviously it was missing a lot of trinkets. And I needed to start sourcing out parts for this car. So I started searching high and low, which was not easy. And I found a gentleman up near Keswick area that had 5 of these things. So I originally went up there to just look at a parts card. And just before I was leaving, he said, Garrett, come on over this way. I want to show you something in my hidden garage. And he pulls me over to this hidden garage in the back corner of his property. And he starts pulling blankets off this car. So he was not the original owner of this car, but this was definitely his pride and joy. It was only a weekend driver. I can't even remember what the mileage is on this thing. This thing is actually true mileage, and it has 47,000 kilometers on this car. I guess the first gentleman who owned it was lived down in the Oakville, Toronto region, and he sent it to a gentleman. He was tired of the 1600cc motor. He wanted something with a little more oomph. So he paid a gentleman down in Oakville to install this lovely flat six Porsche IRS rear suspension system. It's done quite well. You can see all the reinforcement bars in the back to support the extra weight of the flat six versus just holding on to a 4-cylinder in the back. This thing is a lot of fun to drive. It actually scared me the first time I drove this thing. So I'm not used to driving a go-kart that is registered for the road. This thing weighing only 1,400 pounds, and I would say 80% of the weight is in the rear of this vehicle. It makes the front end extremely light. So when I was first driving at home, it was terrifying going around corners, wondering if I was actually going to make it around the corner. And I wasn't even doing high speeds. It's just the front end is so feather light. It almost feels like there is nothing in front of you.
You had mentioned that there's one at the body shop. Do you mind sharing some pictures?
Can you show the pictures there?
I can,
Yes.
yeah. Just want to make sure you're okay with it.
Yeah, go ahead. So one thing about me, I like very rare, unique vehicles. I always have. I like to acquire vehicles that most people can't get their hands on. And I like to modify them for myself. You know what? I do love people that like to keep their cars very OEM. But I'm one of the guys who I like to take it that one step further and design the car and make the car for myself.
Oh, here's a couple of shots, I guess, of it being at the
So this is
body
almost
shop?
in the final stages of body right now. It hasn't been primered yet. Let me see if I can bring my phone in here. So this car should be coming home, I'm hoping, in the next 2 weeks. It was supposed to be finished off by the 1st of April, but obviously with COVID happening, things have been delayed.
And this is the rendering of what it's going to look like when it's finished painted, right?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah. I love that color. It looks really sharp. And then the striping, just about dropped it, that would be bad. The striping just along the bottom edge of the door is reminiscent of early Porsches.
There you go. Kylie can hold it there.
Perfect. Thanks.
It helps having a third arm.
Absolutely. All right.
Oh, you guys want to see the other 2 more Pumas I have? So one other Puma that I have is strictly just a parts car. I'm probably going to sell the chassis and the body later on when I'm finished with it. So the one at the far back there is just the parts car. And then this one here, I plan to restore this one back to 100% factory original. This is one I want to keep factory original just because of the era of the vehicle. So this is a 60s, 70s vintage Puma. They were typically not imported into North America, so someone went through a lot of hurdles to import one of these. As you can see, the bumpers on this one, it has a split front bumper and it has a split rear bumper, both in chrome. The turn signals, marker lights are integrated into the front nose, which are different from the other one. The side panels are pretty well the same. The only differences with the side, this one does not have your conventional door handles. So this one has a little push button opens with a little slot in the side quarter panel to put your fingers through. So once again, yes, I plan on restoring. This is one vehicle I want to keep 100% factory original. It's a timeless piece, and I would be inclined to see anything like this on the road. I'm guessing there are probably maybe less than a handful of these actually in North America.
Sorry about the fetish.
Yes. I apologize for my Puma fetish now. It was caused by this gentleman here. Thank you, Guiley.
No problem. Anytime.
So here we are with Garrett again, the fine gentleman who shared all of his vehicles with us. He's also the brains and motivation behind the largest European car show in Southern Ontario.
Car show is about building family, building new friendship, bringing the automotive enthusiasts together, and also Berlin Classic is very unique because we bring in age categories. Our biggest age category is from, I would say, 25 to 40 or 25 to 45. But we also bring in a lot of younger crowds, which help keep the enthusiast base scene going. And we also bring in a lot of older people out to Berlin Classic. Gentlemen, we've had people in their 90s come out. We had a gentleman that one year, he brought out his Porsche 356. And it was so cute. Him and his wife sat in the vehicle for most of the day because it was so cold out. This is when we ran the show back in September. But they stood it out. They stood there all day. And they were fantastic people. And it's interesting. It's truly, truly interesting hearing different age categories, enthusiasm, what brought them into the automotive culture. That's what I think really makes a decent car show. Hearing about everyone's stories, people making friendship, and people building off of different enthusiasts.
So you've kind of given a quick backdrop there. What led you to start your own show? Because you're right. I mean, it's a collection of like-minded individuals.
Absolutely.
Makes an absolutely great show. So what led you to start your own?
I never thought in a million years I'd ever start a car show. Been part of car clubs for many, many, many years. I lived in Toronto for a decade. Was part of a club organization called Volkswagens of Toronto. And then my wife and I were both tired of living downtown Toronto, wanted to start our families, so we came to Cambridge. I moved here to be closest to one of my best mans at my wedding, Lauren Fletcher. He was a dear friend of mine for many, many, many years. And we started talking when I first moved here, and he's like, Garrett, let's do a car club. Let's do a car club. And I'm like, I don't want to do a car club. Let's do something where we can bring out a lot of different automotive enthusiasts. So we used to attend a lot of different events. One of my favorite events was the June Jitterbug event. Unfortunately, that event has come to a close now. I used to go to a lot of US events. One of the biggest Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche events called Waterfest. Waterfest, in their pinnacle years, they were seeing over 50,000 people to their event. But they were attracting a different array of enthusiasts. They were a younger audience. And I loved the passion they had. It was truly outstanding. The biggest problem, as we get older, we get a little stubborn, we get a little set in our ways, and we learn to love the cars that we kind of grew up around. And then we forget about some of the vehicles that are new to the market, or we frown upon some of the cars that are new to the market. It is just a different generation. It's a different gap of enthusiasts. No difference with me. I love my early Volkswagen water-cooled. There is an enthusiast that was before my time, and they loved the air-cooled industry, where they loved the Beetles, they loved the buses, they loved the Carmagias. And when I was going to car shows, I truly saw that pull apart, and people weren't interacting with one another. And I thought, how can we create a car show where we can bring out the old classics, some of the more modernized classics, and then some of the most modern vehicles of today's time. It was not easy. We did create some people that didn't care for our event. But I think the more I tried to talk to them and educate them, saying it's more than just what we grow up around. We should have a love. We love the automotive culture. We should embrace everything. Every manufacturer evolves. So why don't we evolve with them and embrace their new technology? So that's what my true goal was with Berlin Classic. When we first started Berlin Classic, I catered to just Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche. And we had such a large attendance in vintage BMW enthusiasts that came to our event year one. And they begged me, can we be part of your show, please? Because there wasn't a whole lot for the vintage BMW scene. So I said, sure, we don't have any trophies for you this year, but we'd love to have you part of our event. So as we go into year 2, which was 2012, I invited the classic, the vintage BMW enthusiasts. Year 2012 was one of my favorite years of Berlin Classic. It was very laid back. We had some excellent automotive enthusiasts. We had such a huge display of old classic air-cooled Volkswagens. We had a lot of the old classic BMWs. We had a lot of old classic Porsches. We didn't have too many old classic Audis, even though to this day, one of the enthusiasts that comes out to Berlin Classic year after year, he brings out his old Audi 100 that is absolutely pristine. Everything on it is 100% factory original, and it's been in his family since new. And other years we've seen other car collectors. We've had a DKW come to the show, which is before the Audi united with, what was it, 4 different brand
It was 4 different
manufacturers.
brands, yeah.
So, I don't know what else I can say. My biggest goal with Berlin was to embrace all European automotive culture. And then going into year 3, that's when we started inviting out Mercedes and other influenced European models as well. So you can see the show has grown immensely from its first conception. The first year event, we saw 285 people in attendance, to now where we're seeing well over 10,000 people in attendance.
So in your first years, you had how many cars would come out that those people would be able to take a look at? How many vehicles do you think were attending at that point in time?
285 vehicles in attendance for display for the first year.
Okay.
Yes.
And then now we're pushing 10,000 vehicles, or that's still...
No, sorry. I should have rephrased that differently. So now we're seeing, last year our numbers dropped a little bit as we moved quite far west. So last year our show car attendance was around 685 cars on display for the show, with an attendance of 10,000 spectators. I don't know. What else can I say?
So you've just mentioned that you're at a new venue. How many different venues have you been at?
So we first started the event, the name of the event, Berlin Klassik, named after the original town. So Kitchener, before it was labeled Kitchener, it was called the town of Berlin. And then it later became the city of Berlin. And then during World War II, they decided to rechange the name to Kitchener. So that's why we chose the name Berlin Klassik. There is such a huge German car enthusiast presence here in this region. We started the show at Bingemans. We continued at Bingemans for 5 years, and then we moved to Guelph Lake. We simply were running out of location, running out of space.
Yeah.
We moved the show to Guelph Lake. I was scared to move it. Still being new as a show operator, we moved it to Guelph Lake, and we moved it onto an island. And my biggest issue was, how do we get this many people on and off the island in such a short period of time? So the first year we moved the show to Guelph Lake, we had 12 kilometers of backed up traffic just trying to get into the event. Some people were excited, some people weren't so excited, but it definitely created a new buzz for the event. And even if you were standing in line waiting for an hour to get into the event, there were so many cars to see while you were standing in line. Year 2 at Guelph Lake, we freed that up, I would say, down to 4 kilometers of backed up traffic. We figured out a system to move people that much faster. We brought interesting tractor rides to bring in spectators into the island. So we parked spectators off the island, and then we transported them in through a tractor ride. And then year 3, it was so good. Everything ran so well year 3 at Guelph Lake. We were moving people in. There were no massive traffic jams. The island fills up by about noon, 1 o'clock. And that was the end of Guelph Lake. So we were literally running out of space at Guelph Lake. It was consuming way too much of the grounds. We were utilizing about 75 acres at Guelph Lake, and we had to start looking for a new location. And we thought, where else can we take our enthusiast base that is truly impressive, to give them that wow factor, and to also give a little bit more entertainment back to the enthusiast base. We looked at, I think, 30 different locations, narrowed it down to 15, and then narrowed it down to 5, and then we chose Grand Bend Motorplex. I grew up in Grand Bend as a child. I spent a lot of my childhood up in Grand Bend with my parents. We used to camp there every year. And I thought, why not take it to Grand Bend? Grand Bend is absolutely breathtaking over the summer. The biggest hurdle that we have being in Grand Bend, there isn't much lodging. So our official hotels and everything are in London, Ontario, which is about 45 minutes outside of Grand Bend. But as automotive enthusiasts and the amount of entertainment that we put on for our crowd, a 45-minute drive really doesn't matter.
Well, on top of that, because the venue is so large, it offers camping as well. So people technically don't have to go to London. They could stay there.
We do offer camping. We had over 900 people staying at our camping facility last year. But there are some people that definitely want a nice, comfortable bed.
I would be one of those people.
So we do offer them the option of our official hotels in London.
Okay.
So at Grand Bend Motorplex, first year we moved there, we had the drag strip open, which was a huge crowd pleaser. That drag strip was going nonstop Saturday, Sunday. The camping was a huge, huge attraction to the event. It was a wide open camping, so the enthusiast base were able to talk amongst many other enthusiasts in a large opening. And then going into our 10th year this year, which we'll see if it happens or not with COVID, we're still pushing forward. We're going to have the full drag strip. We will have the full road course. We plan on doing pro driver training with 15 professional drivers to teach people how to operate their cars on the road course on Friday. And my title sponsor, 3D Products, they will be doing their car wash and detailing. We offer burnout competitions, limbo competitions, performance tuning by Unitronic, and the wow factor. Once the show is done, everyone gets to go down and enjoy the beach.
The road course, having driven it last year, and they do offer several different layouts because there is so much road available to do that with.
Yes.
The track layout that you guys have chosen for this year does have a really nice long back straight. You can get up to some nice speeds, miss a shift and blow an engine, and you can really hit some nice twisties across the front portion of the track as well. So it was a really nice challenging course for somebody who doesn't necessarily get out on a track on a regular basis. Really nice to jump in, have a few laps of fun, and it was a good experience. I really enjoyed it.
So this year I've also brought in some new staff. Brett is one of the new staff, and Gordon, who's on the other side of that screen right now. They were the ones who really, really, really wanted to help me out with the track facility, and I truly, truly thank them. So thank you, Audi Club. I love enthusiasts that are willing out to help with the event in many different aspects. And that's what makes this show so great. Every year we add something interesting for our enthusiast base. So we listen to our enthusiasts and we hear what they have to say. And we bring things to the table to create a better atmosphere and a better, what am I looking for? A better entertainment factor over the course of the weekend. So most of our enthusiast base that come out to the event, they don't want to come out for one day. They don't want to come out for 2 days. They want to stay there for the whole weekend, if not the full week, and celebrate it with their family or truly, truly good friends.
All right.
Anything else?
No, I think that pretty much covers it all.
Perfect.
Thank you very much for sharing.
As we're freezing out here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting a little cold, so.
But thank you. I hope to see everyone out to the show this year. I hope COVID does come to a close. It's unfortunate with what's happening in society. And my heart and prayer goes out to those families that have lost loved ones. and I hope everyone truly looks after themselves.
All right.
Thank you.